Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the another virtual class of ISC history. So today I'll be teaching you about the foreign policy of Germany. In the previous class, like in class 11, you have studied about the domestic policies of Hitler, okay, and even about Mussolini. So in class 12, we have to study about the foreign policies of Hitler as well as Mussolini. Okay, so first today we'll be discussing about the foreign policy of Germany, that is Hitler's foreign policy. So let's start our today's class. So today in this class I'll explain you this topic in a very simple way, so you please watch this video till the end, okay. And most of the students from other states, they requested me, sir, we are facing a problem, and the exam routines are also out, so we are very much worried about how to prepare history. So for those students also I'm making this video. Please do watch this video till the end, and if after watching also, if you face any problem, please do text me, or you can message me in Instagram also, okay. So I've already written it over here in point wise in order to make your points very clear, so no need to get confused, okay. So first of all, you can see here that name of the topic I have mentioned over here, foreign policy of Germany. So from 1933 to 1939. So if you follow the book properly, you won't face any problem. So here, to make your chapter more and more easy, I have written it down according to the point, okay. So let's start from 1932. So I mentioned it over from 1933, but what actually happened from 1932 till 1939, I'm going to explain you in very simple, in a very simple way, okay. So first of all, you can see here that after the First World War, Treaty of Versailles was signed, okay. And as per the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was humiliated, or we can say that harsh terms of the treaty was imposed upon Germany, okay. So when Hitler came to power, okay, that we studied in class 11, when Hitler came to power, he was very much clear that if we follow the Treaty of Versailles seriously, then we are not going to become successful, or we cannot develop our country also. And he had some rage within him to take revenge for the humiliation meted out for the Germans as a whole, okay. So what all happened from 1932 onward, you can see here in 1932, okay, 1932 World Disarmament Conference was held at Geneva, that is in Switzerland, okay. World Disarmament Conference was held. So what is meant by disarmament? To remind the member nations to keep the arms to the limit, okay, only for the defensive measures of the country or for internal security of the country, not to arm, not to focus more on procuring more and more arms, okay. That will create a panic among the other nations, okay. A sense of fear will develop, like it was developed during the First World War. So all the member nations were asked to disarm their country, okay. Focus more on development rather than focusing on arming the nation. So just for reminding the nation. So altogether, my dear, 61 states, okay. How many? 61 states represented the country. 61 countries, okay. That means 61 representative means 61 countries representatives were there in the conference, okay. That is in 1932, okay. So first of all Japan first of all, Japan left the League of Nations, okay. Japan left the League of Nations. Japan left the League of Nations, okay. Let it be, Japan left it, but we are discussing about Germany. So inspired by Japan, or we can say that Hitler, okay, Germany also withdrew from the League of Nations in the year 1933. So in 1932, World Disarmament Conference was held at Geneva, where 61 representatives were present from different countries, okay, 61 countries. And first of all, Japan left the League of Nations. Okay, now see here, leaving the League of Nations is a big thing, right? So after Japan, my dear, Germany also withdrew from the League of Nations, which was one of the biggest obstacles. So if you be the member of League of Nations and follow all the terms of Treaty of Versailles, then you cannot think of taking a revenge. Okay, so that was in their mind. That is why in 1933 Germany also withdrew. That means Germany withdrew from the League of Nations. So League of Nations, what is League of Nations? You can say that today we have United Nations organization. So after the First World War, in order to maintain peace and security throughout the world, League of Nations was established. The main objective of League of Nations was to maintain international peace and security. Okay, wherever there is any threat for the world peace, then the League of Nations will try to resolve those issues and disputes and try to maintain peace. Okay, for that only. And who were the most important members of League of Nations? Britain was there, France was there. These two were only there because America left the League of Nations, left in the sense that America was not bothered about the League of Nations. So the whole responsibility of the League of Nations was on the soldiers of France and Britain. Okay, so Japan left the League of Nations, then Germany also left the League of Nations. Okay, now after withdrawing from the League of Nations, my dear, now the Poland, you can see that a new country which was established after the First World War. Okay, Poland, which was formed, okay, new country which came up as an independent country, my dear, that was under threat. Okay, now when this new country was created, my dear, detaching the territories of Germany, okay, like Danzig, Posen, okay, Silesia, and many other states, many other territories of Austria, it was taken and a new country, Poland, was formed. Okay, so while doing so, eastern part of Prussia, in East Prussia, one of the most important part of Germany, had become far away from Germany. Okay, so Poland was very much clear that now Germany had to withdraw from the League of Nations. Now I have to be very much careful, because directly, first of all, Germany will attack on Poland. That fear was there in the minds of Poland. Okay, but ultimately what we saw over here, Germany did not do so. Germany did not do so. Just opposite of that. Just opposite of that, what Germany did? Germany signed Poland, that means Polish Pact. That means 10 years. 10 years non-aggression pact. Non-aggression pact. Non-aggression pact. That means for 10 years. Okay, for how many years? For 10 years, Germany will not invade Poland, or Germany will not attack Poland. So now from that side, Poland is now very much free. Germany became very, very free, no tension at all, because Germany had already signed a pact with Polish government that for 10 years Germany is not going to attack Poland. Okay, so what was the main motive? What was the main motive behind signing this non-aggression pact? 10 years non-aggression. But why did Germany do so? Because Germany was very much clear that France is there giving security to Poland. France is there giving security to Poland. So if I guarantee that from my side I am not going to invade or attack Poland, then France will become very much clean. France will become very much tension free from that side, that now Poland is not at all, Poland, no need to worry about the security of Poland. Okay, so the real motive, if a question is asked for 2 marks, what was the real motive behind the signing of a 10 years non-aggression pact with Poland? So you can directly write down, the main motive of Hitler was to weaken the defense measures of France. Weaken the defense measures of France by separating from Poland. So if France is separated from Poland, France defense measures also will be, because in order to protect Poland, France is there in that land only. The France is very close to Germany. So if anything goes wrong, France will attack Germany first. So in order to weaken the defense measures of France, this non-aggression pact for 10 years was signed. Hope you are getting my point. So once again, in 1934, Germany signed a 10 years non-aggression pact with Poland, and the main motive of signing this pact was to weaken the defense measures of France by separating from Poland, France from Poland. Okay, children. Now 32 is also over, 33 is also, 35. Now in 35, what happened? In 35, what did Germany do? So in 1935, plebiscite was held in Saar Valley. Okay. Now just for a short, flashback. In the year 1919, when they signed the Treaty of Versailles, there was one point that the Saar region, which was a coal region, okay, coal mine region would be handed over to France for how many years? 15 years, just to compensate the loss of Alsace and Lorraine. Because in the year 1860-61, when Franco-Prussian war was fought, my dear, Alsace and Lorraine was seized by Germany. Okay, so they have exploited the resources of Alsace and Lorraine. So in order to compensate that, Saar region, which was predominantly a region of Germany, which was rich in coal, okay, coal mine region, that was handed over to France. That means for 15 years the coal whatever will be extracted from that region will be sent to France, and this will continue for how many years? 15 years. For 15 years. So after 15 years, what will happen after 15 years? So it was mentioned in the treaty itself that after 15 years, okay, plebiscite will be conducted. Okay, plebiscite will be conducted. What is mean a plebiscite? Vote by the people. The people of Saar Valley will decide their future, whether they want to stay independent or want to unite with Germany. Okay, so when plebiscite was conducted, my dear, in the year 1935, okay, in January 1935, 90% of the people, okay, 90% of the people voted in favor of Germany. They want to unite with Germany. Is that clear? 90% vote was there in favor to reunion with Germany. They want to reunite with Germany. Okay, so this clearly showed that the Nazi technique of propaganda had played a very important role. Just before election, how the political parties spread propaganda to win the favor of the people, the same thing was done. Okay, Nazis started spreading the propaganda to unite Saar Valley with Germany. For that, the minds of the people need to be changed, or they need to be influenced. The same thing happened. Nazis plays a very important role over there, and 90% of the people voted in favor of a reunion with Germany. Is that clear, children? Okay, now 1935 is also over. 1935. Okay, now see one by one. 32, 33, 34, 35, now 36. In 1936, Rhineland was captured by Germany. Now you can see here once again, Treaty of Versailles point. In one other term, it was mentioned that Rhine Valley was to be demilitarized completely. Okay, no military activity will take place in the Rhine region or the Rhine Valley. It was completely demilitarized. So that region was very important for Germany for making the defense strong, because training armies and all factories and all the war equipments were stored over there. Okay, and that region was very strategic for Germany for making their defense system more and more strong. So that they wanted to capture it. So in 1936, remember 1936, Rhineland was captured by Germany. Okay, you may be asked sometime, when was Rhineland captured by Germany? So directly you write down, Rhineland was captured in 1936. Okay, so Rhineland was captured in 1936. Okay, now next, after 1935, what happened? 1936. Okay, in 1936, okay, in 1936, my dear, what happened was that Japan, on the other hand, had already become more and more aggressive. Japan also was very powerful during those time. So Japan entered into an agreement with Germany. So that means Germany and Japan entered into an agreement which came to be known as a Anti-Comintern Pact. Okay, so Anti-Comintern Pact. In 1936, Anti-Comintern Pact was signed between Germany and Japan. Okay, and this pact was directed against Russia. Russia was a big threat for them also, right? I alone cannot save myself, so I need somebody else. So Germany also wanted a friend, Japan also wanted a friend. So both of them entered into a pact. Okay, this pact was directed against Russian communism. So in 1936, Anti-Comintern Pact was signed between Germany and Japan. Okay, is that clear? Now in 1937, the same pact was joined by Italy, and that pact came to be known as Rome-Berlin-Tokyo Axis. Okay, Rome-Berlin-Tokyo Axis. So before, Germany and Japan was there. Okay, when that pact was signed by joined by Italy, it came to be known as Rome-Berlin-Tokyo Axis. Okay, so who were the signatories of Rome, Berlin, Tokyo Axis? No need to get confused. Answer is there in the question only. Rome, Italy, Berlin, Germany, Tokyo, Japan. So all these are the capitals of Italy, Germany and Japan. So Rome, Berlin, Tokyo Axis was signed in the year 1937. Okay, so this pact, when it was formed, my dear, like in the First World War, Triple Alliance was formed, Triple Entente was formed. Now you can see here, now this pact is heading towards some aggressiveness, and this was also the reason, this was also the cause of the Second World War. Okay, so 1937, Rome, Berlin, Tokyo Axis was formed. Okay, so now this became a new balance of power. On one side, Germany, Italy, Japan. And on the other side, who is there? Britain, France and Russia. Britain, France and Russia. So similar to the First World War situation now has arrived. Okay. So now what next? In 1938. In 1938, my dear, Austria was annexed. Now let me tell you, it was not that Hitler tried directly in 1938. In 1934, just to make it clear, in 1934, okay, 1934. Now you can see here, in 1934, band of Austrian Nazis attacked the Dollfuss, the Chancellor of Austria. Austria was the birthplace of Hitler, so Germany wanted Austria to be united with Germany. Okay, so in 1934, 25th of July 1934, a band of Austrian Nazis attacked the Austrian Chancellor Dollfuss, and due to that attack, subsequently he died also. So when in 1934, when Austrian Nazis tried to capture, my dear, at that time Italy, just remember over here, at that time Italy had sent its forces, my dear. Okay, Italy sent 3 battalions of Italian forces just to protect Austria. Though Austrian Chancellor died, but Austria was protected. Austria was saved. Okay, Germans' first attempt to capture Austria in 1934 completely failed because Italy was on the other side. Italy was on the side of Britain and France. Okay, Britain and France. Now you can see here, my dear, Italy now all joined in 1937. In 1937, Italy joined with Germany, because of which Rome, Berlin, Tokyo Axis was formed. So now Germany was very much clear. Now this time, if I try to attack, then there is no chances of opposition from, or Italy won't go against Germany. Okay, so on 14th of March, okay, so 14th of March 1938, Austria was completely captured by Germany, and it was, that means Austria was incorporated with Germany. Okay, so thus the Anschluss was completed. So you might be asked sometime, what is mean by Anschluss, or how did Germany completed its Anschluss? Okay, so here Anschluss means what is the meaning of Anschluss? Reunion of Austria with Germany. Reunion of Austria with Germany. Reunion of Austria with Germany. Like a question is there, what was mean by Anschluss? What was mean by Anschluss? You may be asked in short. Okay, so now Anschluss was completed in the year 1938. So spelling over here, I am writing it over here. ANCHU, ANCHLUSS, okay, LUSS, Anschluss. So what is mean by Anschluss? Anschluss means reunion of Austria with Germany, which became possible in the year 1938. Okay, the dream of Hitler had become successful in the year 19. So now see here, one by one Germany is becoming aggressive, and the League of Nations is unable to stop the aggressiveness of Germany. Okay, so that is giving more and more confidence and courage in Hitler. Whatever I do, nobody is there to stop me. Okay, the first aggressiveness was shown, real aggressiveness was shown in the year 1936. When Rhineland was captured, but before that you can see here nothing, no aggressiveness is there. Okay, so real aggressiveness was shown by Hitler in the year 1936 when Rhineland was captured. Britain and France, where were they? Why didn't they stop? So one after another, Germany started capturing its territories. League of Nations completely was watching it. They could not do anything. Okay, reason is that they did not want to drag Europe into the war also. That also was one of the reason. Now next one you can see here in year 1938. Now after capturing Austria, now the focus is on Czechoslovakia. Okay, so according to Treaty of Versailles, a new state Czechoslovakia was created. A new state. Poland also was created after because before First World War, Poland also was not there, and Czechoslovakia also was not there. So Poland also was created. So Czechoslovakia was created comprising the territories, Austrian territories. Some territories of Austria was there, like Moravia was there, Silesia was there, Bohemia was there. Okay, and this region had a mixed population. Bohemia, Silesia, okay, Moravia, this had a mixed population, such as Germans were there, Slovaks were there, Magyars were there, Poles were there, a mixed population. All the mixed population was there. So Germany now wanted those territories where German population was there. Okay, so when Germany was planning to do so, Britain and France was very much worried now what to do. It is better that we fulfill his demand. Whatever he wants, let us give him so that he will stop. Okay, so in the year 1938, my dear, in the year 1938, in a place called Munich, a pact was signed, agreement was signed between, okay, Britain was there, France was there, Germany, Italy, all these countries, they signed an agreement that came to be known as Munich Pact. So according to this Munich Pact, my dear, those region of Czechoslovakia, that is mostly Sudetenland, where mostly German population was there, only German populated region was to be given to Germany. Don't worry, those territories where predominantly German population was there, you can take it. Okay, that means Hitler was allowed to capture Sudetenland. Hitler was allowed to capture Sudetenland, okay, where German population was there, predominantly German population was there. Okay, no problem. And Britain and France decided that rest of the security of Czechoslovakia will be taken by them. They will try to protect the sovereignty of Czechoslovakia. Okay, so that was just in words only. After capturing Sudetenland, within 6 months, Germany captured the entire Czechoslovakia. The whole of Czechoslovakia was captured by Germany. Okay, they kept on watching what happened. Okay, Britain and France just was staring at the act of Germany. Okay, so within 6 months, in the year 1939, Czechoslovakia was also captured. So Czechoslovakia was captured in the year 1939. Okay, now next what happened? Now Poland. Now as you know that in 1934, you can see here 1934 they had signed a non-aggression pact with Poland. So after the Munich Pact, British Prime Minister Chamberlain now was very much sure that now we need to protect Poland, because definitely they were very much aware that now Germany would move its attention towards Poland, because Germany wanted to build a Danzig corridor connecting East Prussia, because after the formation of Poland, my dear, German territory East Prussia had become far away from the mainland of Germany. The mainland of Germany. So I'm going to make a map. Okay, suppose this is Germany. Okay, this part is Poland. Okay, now this territory you can see here. This is the territory East Prussia. Okay, so they wanted to build a corridor from here. They wanted to build a road from here, okay, this way. So for that they need to take the permission of from Poland. So Poland earlier they were not ready, because Poland was very much sure that France is there to protect me, Russia is there to protect me. So now British Prime Minister Chamberlain was of the opinion that we need to protect Poland at any cost. Okay, we need to protect it. Okay, and on the other hand, Polish government naturally refused to consider German demand, because Germany was asking, we need to please allow us to build a corridor from your land which will connect with the East Prussia. Polish government refused. So now if you refuse, what is the option left for me? I am going to attack you. So that was very much clear. That is why Britain started negotiating with Russia. In case if there is an attack from German side, Russia will also side with Britain. So before, when negotiations were going on between Britain and Russia, Britain and Russia, my dear, Germany tactfully signed again a 10 years pact. Okay, so Germany signed a 10 years non-aggression pact with Russia. Very clever. Britain is trying to negotiate with Russia to get its favor in case Poland is attacked by Germany. But in the meantime, Germany signed a 10 years non-aggression pact with Russia. Okay, so will Russia come against for Germany? No. Okay, so now what to do? For that? Now Polish government now was very much worried what to do now. The situation is not in their favor also. Germany may attack us any time. So let us allow Germany to build a corridor from Germany. So that is why, my dear, Polish government invited Germany. Please come. Okay, let us have a discussion. Polish government wanted to have a discussion with Hitler regarding the Danzig corridor to be built from Poland. Hitler now flatly refused. Nah, I am not going to talk. Hitler refused to negotiate or held any discussions with the Polish government. So now Hitler was now very much convinced Britain and France would not risk. Britain and France decided that we are not going to risk now anything, because if Poland is attacked, we cannot keep ourselves silent. So what we have to do, we have to teach Germany a lesson. So that is their thinking, what they are planning. So in the meantime, in the year 1939, that is 1st of September 1939. 1st of September 1935, Germany attacked Poland. Okay, now what will the Britain and France do? What will they do? So on 3rd of September, because you cannot let them do whatever they like, right? So on 3rd of September, Britain and France declared war against Germany. So this way the Second World War started. So what was the immediate cause of the Second World War? Attack on Poland. When Germany attacked Poland on 1st of September 1939, okay, Germany also never thought that we are entering into the war. Okay, because Germany thought that like we did with Czechoslovakia, the same thing, they will negotiate with us, negotiate peace with us, and will become successful. But this time the calculation of Germany completely failed. So when Germany attacked Poland, Britain and France also declared war against Germany. So this way the First World War started. Okay, so now let us recapitulate it now. First one is World Disarmament Conference held in 1932, in which Japan left the League of Nations, then Germany withdrew from the League of Nations in 1933. Then number 2, German-Polish Pact, 10 years non-aggression pact was signed between Germany and France. Then after that, Saar Valley, plebiscite in the Saar, 1935. 1936, capture of Rhineland was captured. 1936, Rome Anti-Communist Pact was signed. Then in 1937, Italy joined the pact. It came to be known as Rome-Berlin-Tokyo Axis. And finally, in 1938, Austria also was annexed. Then after that, in 1939, Czechoslovakia was also captured. And 1st of September 1939, Poland also was attacked by Germany. With that, the Second World War started. So this is all about, this is how I wanted to make you understand. Hope you all have understood this part. Okay, so in the next class we'll discuss about the aggressive policy of Italy. So we have discussed about the aggressive policies of Hitler. So in the next class we'll discuss about aggressive policy of Italy, or the foreign policy of Italy. Okay, so hope you all have understood this part. So if you have any queries, you can just knock on me. Okay, you can rely on me, you can knock, or you can text me through Insta also. I'll definitely reply. Okay, so this much for today. We'll meet again in the next class. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.